Hello there, Patreon listener. This is Will here. I know it's a bit strange to be listening to my voice in isolation right now. I am here to just give a little introduction to what we're going to share with you. What we have is an outtake from an episode that I am currently editing, an episode which is coming out next week, which is for Best Undercover Scene. The episode, as it is incredibly long, right? So I'm trying to find anything that I can to cut and extract and reduce the length of the episode. One of the things that I've cut is a conversation we had about cruising, the William Friedkin film that both myself and Kevin had watched in preparation for the record. I thought it was an interesting conversation and felt, listen, let's not lose this, because it was an interesting film to watch. We had a nice chat about it, but I felt it was something that we could cut to save on time, and we were ultimately a little bit mixed on it, and we had thoughts, and it just didn't fit with the flow of the episode. So I thought this would be a good way of maybe using all of the animal, taking all of the bits that we feel we kind of have to lose from the show to make the show at least a little bit lean, and also give you kind and fair and wonderful, erudite and intelligent listeners some interesting film chats. So here you are, a little outtake from our upcoming episode from Best Undercover Scene, which is a very good episode because it's a me episode.
I thought you were going to say cruising.
I watched Cruising as well for this, but not Cruising. To Live and Die in LA is
Stall on a second. Stall on, though. Before you get into The Live and Die in LA, which is a fucking brilliant film.
Yes.
Brilliant. And I only just saw it recently, like a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But I want to get your take on Cruising. Because I avoided that for donkey's years. I think it was banned for a long time.
Yeah,
but I avoided it because I thought it was going to be very fucking full on and seedy and grotesque. I thought that he would lean heavily into that. And instead it just felt a little bit more conventional, like a sort of a murder mystery. And it was a kind of overwrought, I felt. So I was a bit sort of disappointed by Cruising. It wasn't this full on force of depravity that I expected and dreaded.
Well, I would say you would have to look at the film
in the context
through the
of
lens, in the context of when it was made, because the stuff that's in it, that's suggested in the film from a 1980s audience point of view, is depraved. You know, some of the stuff that's suggested in those S&M clubs is like, oh my God, what's happening there? It's so shocking that now that we've been exposed to the internet and all the horrors that's out there in the world,
and the meme
at the click
of
a
the
button.
big black guy with a cowboy hat walking in assless chaps and slapping him across the face. I remember thinking, I'm finally going to figure out what the fuck that is about and how that fits into the story, and I still don't know how that fits into the story. Like, did they just hire the guy to come in and do it?
I do not know. And also the meme of him, of Al Pacino just pumping hard on the dance floor. Like, you know, it's just like jawing off his head, like, you know.
Yeah. That's how you do it. That's how I dance.
I found the film very questionable because of how it depicts the gay community, or a certain subculture of the gay community. There's only one character who is like just a normal person. So, and all of the rest of the gay characters that are portrayed in this are only seen through the lens of this S&M, this seedy S&M club scene. And they're all seen as predators, or they're all portrayed as something menacing and predatory in my eye.
I didn't like seeing Karen Allen in there. I just thought she's too pure to be in this kind of film. I just thought, oh, don't do this to Karen Allen. She's got these big headlight eyes and this beautiful big beaming smile, and I just feel like, you need somebody harder.
And also, the killer is... They recast the killer, so each time we see the killer, it's a different actor playing the killer. So
yeah, which is questionable, I think.
Yeah. Because when you finally do meet the killer, it's kind of like, oh, was that him?
Yeah.
It's that sense.
Different voice, different build. The moment where I just thought, like, I don't think I kind of like that, was the very, 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 very end, when Al Pacino, who has been he's been so compromised by going undercover that he's so haunted he can't look at himself in the mirror, and then he looks down the barrel of the camera with this sort of like hollowed out, like come and see type. He's been to Vietnam and back type, and I just thought this is so melodramatic.
It actually ties into one of the aspects of the undercover scenes, is that, you know, as we discussed at the top of the show, or just mentioned, how when characters go undercover, they are transformed and changed by, you know, walking in that other world for a period of time. And I think what the film is suggesting is that Al Pacino has become gay, that he was a closeted homosexual, and that he's gay. Because
you can
there's a scene
that Friedkin is like dealing with some sort of straight man fear of catching the gay.
Catching it, yeah, that's what it is, and it's seen as a horrific thing. Like, you know, look at him.
That's where it felt more dated to me, even though it was. I always love seeing a bygone era. So that New York, which is completely gone now, that scary as fuck kind of New York, and those types of back alley establishments. It's always fascinating because the verisimilitude of what Freaking goes for, I always enjoy. But you can. I just wonder whether somebody who was probably more in that community, what their take on that material would have been. Because for me, just looking at it, thinking, this just feels a bit, it felt very dated in terms of its fear of the unknown.
Yeah. It was very much, look at these, it was from a lens of, look at these others, these strange, dangerous, sinister others, and I just don't think that's... Yeah. I think it's a horrible depiction. What is very interesting about cruising is the origin story of the idea, which came on the set of The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The extra.
Yeah, there was... So in the famous scene in The Exorcist where Regan, isn't that her name, the little girl's name, she's getting a spinal tap done.
She's getting a dye put in, and they're lancing her carotid artery,
something like that. Yeah. Oh God, is that what is actually happening?
Yeah, because the blood starts spurting, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's
where I always tend to black out. Her head can twist around 5 fucking times and she can vomit a pea soup, but it's when the blood, the arterial spray is like shooting out, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna black out.
Yeah, I actually can see you going a bit pale as we even talk about it. There's an extra in this like an orderly or some sort of nurse who's a character who ended up becoming someone who had killed. He was a gay man, but he ended up killing someone and dismembering their bodies. This is in real life. And Friedkin learned about this extra that was in The Exorcist who had done this, but he ended up being convicted or being forced to confess to multiple other homicides, unsolved cases of these individuals who frequented gay bars and stuff like that. So he was kind of like, I suppose... but I don't think he actually did kill them. I don't think it turned out that he actually did murder all these other people. But did he kill them all? Well, okay, sorry.
I just lost... I wasn't 100% paying attention to you because I was looking at the clock and thinking, oh God, we've only got 9 minutes left. But no, the guy, the Exorcist guy, he did kill people. He was in prison.
Oh, he definitely killed one. Yeah, he definitely killed one. But I think what happened was he had other cold cases thrust upon him.
Yeah, wasn't it that he was on drugs? So he said he could only remember killing one person, but he couldn't remember killing any of the others.
I think that's it. And so that was kind of like the genesis, or the kind of the starting point of the idea for cruising for Friedkin.
Yeah,
which is very interesting. It's really interesting that he did it.
It's worth watching, mainly to see one of the titans of 70s cinema sort of navigate the 80s before he takes a huge left turn and makes a film that I didn't think he was capable of making. Which was poppy Miami Vice type To Live and Die in LA.
Yeah, this is a fucking incredible fucking film.
Best Undercover Scene out next week.